to the amazing podcast called Hack and Grow Rich. I'm your co-host, Bart Baggett, and with me is a man of many talents, a man of Amazon greatness, of billions in sales, and the proud new owner of a new book and podcast, Cheyene. How you doing, brother? Good to be here.
Great to see you too. And for you guys who don't know, Bart is the handwriting expert, forensic expert, master handwriting analysis, but also a master at all things success and a coach of not only successful people, but successful and happy people. And he'll share a link at the end of the show, so please hang on. Thank you guys for anybody joining us now on Facebook Live. We appreciate you guys, and on YouTube Live. Looking forward to it. We've got a great guest tonight, Michael Knight of Best Book Bits, and I am going to invite him in. We are using a new platform this evening. So there we are, Best Book Bits. Michael Knight, where are you visiting us from tonight on the show?
Thanks for having me. Melbourne, Australia.
I love Melbourne. They have a good casino there. I've been there many times. People love me in Australia because I have a really weird sense of humor, and they get sense of humor. Where in other countries they don't. So welcome from down under, man.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I visited there back, and the main thing I remembered about Australia is that everything there can kill you. And I thought it was hilarious because they were like, oh, those are great. Those can kill you. The kangaroos, yeah, they look cute on TV. They can kill you. And then we hit this thing with the car. The car hits this thing. I'm like, holy fuck, did we just hit a kangaroo? They're like, no, mate, it's a wombat. What the fuck is a wombat? And you just look at it, and you guys have these railings on the front of your cars specifically designed for killing furry creatures along the road. Is that true, Michael Knight?
That is true, yeah. I can attest that that's correct. We have wildlife that runs in front of the road, and it's called a bull bar. So, yeah, killing kangaroos.
A bomb. Okay, I love that. But that is not why we're having you on the show tonight. For you guys who know, I was recently featured about this, and I know we've got Michael. His schedule is incredibly busy coming from down under, so we've got him for a limited time tonight, so we're going to try to take advantage of that. And what I wanted to tie this into is something super interesting. I know that a lot of people had responded and commented and reached out to me about my process for accelerated learning. And Michael, I think you and I talked about this earlier on the podcast. And that's that I don't believe in buying a book and just reading it blind. I believe that there is an acceleration to the learning process when you have a familiarity with the content. And that's where I feel like people like yourself at Best Book Bits, people like Philosopher's Notes, Performance Habits, all those great websites, all these great guys like yourself that are creating content, you will actually go out there, read this book, find out if it's any fucking good, and then create notes for this book and provide me with those notes and a video review in some cases about the book and your favorite takeaways. And in some cases, guys, that's enough. If not, you can do the written PDF that Michael will provide on certain books. And he's got great ones. I noticed he just did the Bruce Lee book, Be Like Water, I think that was written by Shannon Lee, right? His daughter. Correct. Is that right? Was she the one who put that together? Yeah.
That's right. Yep, correct.
And so I believe that in addition to that you guys should do what I do, which is seek out all the best content from this person. Check out their TED Talks, check out their podcasts, and get yourself as familiar as you can with the material. Because then when you open the book, it gets so much easier. Now, I don't mean just faster to read the book, will be faster, but also the fact that your absorption and retention and understanding of those core principles goes up so high. Well, what do you think about that, Michael?
Yeah, so the biggest myth going around is you need to read the whole book. So that's just bullshit. So number one, we actually have a thing called the forgetting principle, where we actually forget 90% plus of what we actually read in the book. So the biggest thing, when an author writes a book, they have a concept of what they want in the book. 90% of the book is mainly filler, mainly anecdotes and stories as well. There's literally 10% of a book that is actually worth its weight in gold that you want to extract from that book. So what I've done over the years, so I've got a business called Best Book Bits. It's the world's largest free book summary website in video, written, and audio format. I've essentially got a book and I've condensed it down into a summary. Now, again, a lot of people don't have time. So to read a book, no one really has 9-10 hours to sit down and read a book to get that 10% of knowledge. So what I've done, I've put it into written format, audio format, and video format as well. Essentially, from a book, you want to get a couple of different takeaways, but you want to take action on those takeaways. A lot of people think of a book as their reading is doing. Reading is not doing. Reading is preparation. You actually have to take action once you actually read the book. So forget about mental masturbation. Get on the field and actually take action on the information that you've consumed as well. So hence the summaries. That's one of the hacks I've put together is instead of reading a book a day, why not read a summary a day? Get 365 books in a year and take actions on some of those golden nuggets and the principles that you take from the book. Yep.
I love that. I love that. And do you find that just from that people can have a good amount of retention and recall of the principles, a good understanding? Is that enough in a lot of cases?
Yeah, so there's two sides to that coin. So number one, yes, if you hear something good and you take action on it, you're actually going to remember something you take action on. You're going to forget something that you don't take action on. That's just the law of human nature. And number two, if you listen to a summary or watch a summary or read a summary and you like the information that you hear or that's presented, then yes, go out and buy that book and consume the full length of the book. Consume, as you said, their TED Talks. Go to their YouTube, go to their social media, deep dive on that individual. The problem is today, there's so many people out there that people follow. You want to get really, really clear on who you want to follow and go deep into that particular person and replicate their actions. So don't just read a book. Proximity is power. Get close to that person, right? Reach out to them, DM them, consume their courses. You've got courses, I've got courses. Go deep into their courses. If you can get coached by these people, get coached by these people. The biggest misconception is authors are people and readers are people. People and people. The books are just a medium. That medium is it's an old medium. There are a lot newer mediums these days, especially interviews, podcasts, coaching courses. There's so much out there. So just get proximity to the person you want to learn from, and you will actually remember the information because the different medium that you're learning from. Yep.
That's great. Michael, when I was at Pepperdine, I took 4 semesters of what they call great books, which was basically instead of chemistry, I got to read every raw Western heritage book. And I hated reading. So I lived with the Cliff books, Cliff Notes 20 years ago. But what I realized pretty quickly was I could pass the test, but I didn't get the enriching stories. I didn't have long-term recall. In your short summaries, are you including the parables and some of the metaphors and some of the stories that help long-term recall, or are you deleting them into like just list of action items?
Some of my summaries go for an hour and some go for 10 minutes. So it just depends on the quality of the book. Most books, again, are just fillers or they're repeating themselves and people can understand the concept in a few sentences, where some books need an entirely longer demonstration of the stories, as you say. So yeah, it is a variety. There's no set formula to do in a summary, just depending what I feel encapsulates the book.
Nice. And what's the top 5 books you've read recently, or is this your full-time job? So you're reading 80 books a month?
No, definitely not. This is a part-time gig, and we got a small team that help out. But I'll give you the top 3 books that I would recommend anyone. So from number 1, I'm going to start with an old classic, which is from a guru that I used to follow many years ago called Osho. There's a Netflix series on him. Yeah,
we're very familiar with Osho. He appeared in a short film that won 9 awards this year for me. So I'm intimately, and I've been to India at his center.
Awesome. Well, then the Netflix show is it's a taste of him, but it's a lot more propaganda than there is information. But research of the guy, Osho. So he's done numerous of books. All his books were actually verbally spoken, not written. So word for word, he spoke the books into existence, did not write the books. This one's called Courage, The Joy of Living Dangerously. Definitely recommend people to go out and consume his books. he read over 100,000 books in his lifetime, which is someone to definitely follow. If you read over 100,000 books, I'm sure you know what you're talking about. Number 2 is a book I read recently from an author I also interviewed called Tom Butler Bowden. He is one of the original summary success people around the world. He's done the 50 series, so quite a massive author from the UK. And this book is called Never Too Late to Be Great. And it's an amazing summary. I did it for an hour. I do recommend people to go out and buy that book. The whole premise of that book is success takes time. Now, you might not reach success in your 20s, even your 30s. Most of the most successful people in the world actually started maybe in their 40s and 50s. And Tom gives a lot of examples throughout history, people from Henry Ford, Colonel Sanders. So many people started later in life. But what he really meant was your 20s and your 30s were the foundational periods of that later success in your years as well. So definitely go out and consume Tom Butler Bowden's books.
That's really refreshing to hear. In today's world, where everybody sees the billionaires at age 29, it gives us the rest of us a little insecurity. This show, my co-host, sold over $1 billion in products by the time he was 20. So he's kind of a badass, aren't you, Shaahin?
I try to be as humble as possible, Bart.
And the number one book I recommend is my own book, which is called Success in 50 Steps. So this book was a combination of 13 years of research, reading over 500 books to come up with the proven formula that works. So researching personal development and consuming all those books, basically did a double PhD in personal development and came out the other end of it with a book. So mainly sort of a dummy's guide to how do you start from a dream and turn it into reality, which is success, and the steps that go along with it as well. So a lot of people think, success is a short-term thing. It's a long-term thing. Personal development, it's personal, which is self, and development is growth. It's really self-growth. Only you can measure your own growth. So yeah, that was another recommendation, Success in 50 Steps. I'm giving this book away for free to your audience, so I'll send them a link or go to my website, bestbookbits.com, and you'll be able to get access to a link from there. So yeah, that's my summary of a summary. My book and Osho and Tom Butler Bowden would be the other two authors to go and research.
I'm digging that answer. I would be very disappointed if you didn't put your own book in there. From someone who's written a few books, I like that self-promotion. It's more swagger than most Australians have. You guys have this tall poppy syndrome when it's not okay to be great in Australia. And they always try and make us Americans seem like a salesman. But you, sir, are a qualified, certified part-time American now.
Appreciate it. I think it's all the American content I've consumed over the decades.
I love that. Well, now you've consumed some Iranian content, so we'll be looking for the PDF stuff on Shaahin, Iranian American content, I guess. But Michael, so good to see you. Tell our viewers and everybody on Facebook Live, people are loving it right now. I'm looking at YouTube Live, Facebook Live, everywhere where we're live. People really appreciate what you're putting forth, and I really appreciate you. I know it's a different time out there in Australia, and I know you're really always putting your best foot forward. So we really appreciate you. I'm definitely signing up for Best Book Bits, and we're going to add that. What are, again, one more time, the URL where they can get the book and the URL where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. Don't stress too much about the book. I would recommend go to the podcast on Spotify, type Best Book Bits. It's a top-rated podcast around the world. Go to YouTube, type in Best Book Bits, and the website, bestbookbits.com, where you can get over 700 free video, written, and audio book summaries. So instead of reading a book a day, just get one summary in a day. That would be the hack to take your life to the next level by consuming the best content in the shortest amount of time. And you'll find my book along the way there as well. Find me on Instagram as well at Best Book Bits. Drop me a DM, and I'll send you a physical book to your door. So come follow me there, shout out. But I appreciate you having me on. And if there's anything I can do for your audience or yourself, just shout out and let me know. Happy to help.
Great.
Always
I hope we get you on for a longer time next time.
No worries at all.
Absolutely,
have a great day, guys.
Absolutely. Yep. Great. Thank you so much. And we're gonna let you go. I know you have lots of books to read and summarize for all of us. So keep kicking ass, and can't wait to see what else you come up with. Okay. Keep me posted,
Perfect.
Michael.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Okay, bye.
All right.
That was really fun. I like that short guest format. I think we should do more of that. That's fantastic.
I do too. And one of the things I want to talk about is, for you guys who don't know, Bart and I have recently done an epic show on CBD. Basically, Bart came down to my home studio here in LA last week, and I think we had way too much CBD because we were both chilling like villains, and you were laughing because you had a comedy show to be at, but you just felt calm.
I didn't want to feel too calm to go do stand-up comedy in Hollywood, but I felt good. And I had not experienced much of the CBD oils or drinks. It's not a world I'm familiar with. I'm also not familiar with the marijuana world, which is really all legal in California. So if you're listening to this outside of the US, one of the trends in the last 10 years is many states have just legalized marijuana. So it's no longer taboo, no longer going to jail. You can just go in and buy it with a card or without a card. And it's been really refreshing because many of the people that were hiding it are now out in the open. But the other aspect of it is this entire billion-dollar industry of other products from hemp. And Shaahin, you're a little bit more expert than I am, but they have sent us a slew of products that we're going to be rolling out and testing and reviewing over the next few weeks. But I think our listeners will find really great hacks for energy and pain management and basically just replacing some of your drinks. I mean, I found it very tasty.
Yeah, I'm super excited about trying some of this stuff, and I'm going to try some of it tonight. I've got some comments and updates on different products. But to your point about marijuana usage in this country, first off, I know that one famous doctor, this guy, Dr. Amen, came out. He's a brain guy. He talks a lot about the brain, and I believe he's an MD. And he came out saying that he believes that from certain studies, the marijuana might not be the best thing for mental acuity. And they researched brain studies of people who had used marijuana and people who didn't. Now, this is the first fatal mistake that I think anybody could make. Dude, you can go out there and say anything in front of potheads and they will be chill as fuck. You can say anything. You can say controversial things that will get you canceled in other places. You can be like, I don't like minority handicapped midgets, and they'll probably like chuckle and you'll be fine. The one thing you cannot do to potheads is put down pot in any way, in any derogatory fashion. That is the biggest no-no of all time for any pod. Because the second you say something about cannabis, like, buddy, I'm not sure that smoking 4 joints a day is the best thing for you, you will see them explode. Do not try to take away their marijuana, and do not try to talk it down. Very important. I've looked at the comments on his Instagram feed, and it's been raging. Like, people have been raging against this guy and his comments putting down medical marijuana for mental.
In all fairness, that's not his platform. For 20 years, he's been taking, CT scans of brains, dissecting brains. You see the light scans from the magnetic resonance. I mean, he's really some interesting work about depression and brain scans and diseases. So unfortunately, this seems to be like his newest, it's his Dave Chappelle moment.
Yeah. Don't go against the potheads. They don't have much that they rally for. It's funny, years ago when I had first invented digital vaporization, I was in Holland, and it was like there was like a meeting of activists, cannabis people, and they had this massive bong in the middle of this conference room, and it was shaped like a globe, and they had hookah tubes coming out of it, and in the center they had a big like bowl that had just tons of like weed, and they were all smoking, philosophizing about what would happen with the world. And then they say, yeah, man, we should all go like right now in the middle of the street and protest because this is bullshit. And then they would just continue smoking and nothing would happen. And I thought, man, if you were like a politician and you wanted something to like never pass committee, like this would be the place. That's what it reminded me of.
But before you move on, let's not skip over that.
Amusing.
I didn't want to you skipped over something that was kind of throwaway that your listeners are going to find very interesting. You said, when I invented the digital vaporation, and just to be clear, you are the guy that wrote the first patent and held the first patent on what has now become the vaping business. I mean, obviously you didn't start the industry, but that's what happened 20 years ago. So don't gloss over that, because it's so interesting, because you didn't do this to get teenagers addicted to bubblegum vape. Like, that wasn't your vision. You were creating a product that really cut down on tar and tobacco, and that became the kernel to what is now a huge industry.
That's right. So vaporization, of course, there were patents before ours, and I had a patent. There was other patents that we came out through my company that now is a public company, but back when I owned the company, it was private. And those were not successful vaporizers, in my opinion, because they did not have regulation of temperature. I was the first one to come out with a digital regulation of temperature and a removable heat source so that your source material wouldn't get burned. If you don't burn your plants, you don't get smoke, tar, and carbon monoxide, the three carcinogenic elements of cannabis, which was my big development and innovation and patent that I had. And I wrote a book on it that came out at that time. But there were really no vaporizers out there. There was no viable product that you could use. There was absolutely nothing portable, and there was nothing digital. And so when we came out with the first vaporizer, it disrupted the industry in a huge way. So thanks for bringing that up, Bart. So one of the things, if you guys notice, I'm drinking right now, is this product here called Cloud Water. And Cloud Water was kind enough to send us, I think, caseloads of this stuff. So thanks, guys. And this is a functional beverage. What that means is that it's a drink. It's pretty tasty too. I don't how was yours, Bart? You tried their blood orange, I
was
think. Flavor.
very happy with my Cloud 9 water. I think we need to send a case to my house this time instead of
Yeah.
yours.
Guys at Cloud Water, let's get a case over to Bart. We'll definitely make sure that happens. I've got blackberry, lemon, and rosemary, and these are absolutely delicious. For me, trying to do keto on and off when I can, I cycle through keto, paleo. This does have some sugar in it, mainly from honey, which I'm okay with. It's only 10 grams, so it's like, I don't know, a quarter of a sugary soda, maybe a third or a quarter of a sugary soda. So not ideal. I mean, my suggestion to the Cloud Water people is make this with monk fruit. I know it'll have a little bit of aftertaste, but maybe monk fruit and a little bit of stevia, and you can get away making a zero sugar drink, and then we'll be down in these like there's no tomorrow. The other thing that I noticed about this is I've been drinking quite a few of these, and I noticed that it's got 25 milligrams of what they call hemp extract. And now, Bart, we're going to talk about this on the show. But what's interesting is looking at this package, the word CBD, CBG, CBN doesn't appear on here. And for you guys watching this for the first time, I wanted to explain that there is a certain active element. I believe it's an alkaloid, something that's active and comes from hemp, and it's called CBD. And it's one of the cannabinoids that is available through cannabis and through cannabis, but through hemp. And it is devoid of any significant quantities of THC, which is the psychoactive material. Now, for any of you guys who are experts on CBD, remember, I am a chimpanzee when it comes to this stuff. I am not an expert. I am just a consumer level. I'm expert at marketing, not an expert in the science of this. So you and me are going to get people that are experts in the law relating to CBD. We're going to try to get Darren Kavinoki, the legal expert on 1-800-NO-CUFFS. We're going to try to get real scientists and doctors, Dr. Michael Bruce, the doctor who has become an expert on this. We're going to get him on. And there's lots of varieties of this stuff. So some of this stuff is great for sleep. Some of it is great for recovery. I know Joe Rogan promotes this stuff, CBD MD, that we've been looking at. We've got a few brands here that I think you trust well, called Ojai Energetics. And Ojai Energetics has this ultra high quality. I think this stuff it must be more expensive. It must be for what it is, because it's very full looking. It's a much thicker liquid, and it's really effective. Bart, I took this a couple nights ago before I went to sleep, and I had one of the best sleeps that night. And also, I feel like a lot of the my choking hand from jujitsu, a lot of the tension that I had in there was released. Now, my only comment with, and we're going to critique all these different hemp products. I don't think we'll be reviewing any of the ones that we don't like. So please don't think that, if somebody sent us something, if we don't like it, we probably will not tell you. But there are criticisms that we have on these different products, so we will talk about them, and hopefully the manufacturer will make it better. So this is USDA certified organic. The Ojai Energetics one comes in a cool blue bottle, which I like. The flavor of it, the viscosity of it is pretty thick. The flavor of it is the strongest of the bunch. It's a very medicinal, almost like Chinese medicine type flavor. But I think it's also because they have other Chinese herbs in here, or other herbs that go along with this. Unfortunately, with all these labels, the ingredients are so small that you got to kind of hold up your phone to make it work. So the Ojai Energetics was one that was very effective. They also sent us a topical, which I liked. I'm not sure if the topicals really are functional or not, meaning can the molecule of CBD, CBG, CBN be absorbed transdermally without any other carrier material to make it go through the skin? I believe it can. This company, Focal, FOCL, that we talked about on our big CBD episode that we're going to go through again, sent us this relief cream. And one of the cool things about this one that Focal did is that the Focal one includes some things like menthol, camphor, all these other natural ingredients along with the CBD. So there's definitely something about that works in correlation. I use this one. I keep this in my jujitsu bag, which I'm very excited about having, because every time I go into the studio, everyone asks me for some. So that's a really cool one. One of the other ones that I thought was really interesting is this company, Hemp Fusion. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the packaging. I think maybe the packaging needs to be changed, but it looks like they have a unique offering. First off, it's 50 milligrams, which is pretty high. The only other one I saw in that is this company, Charlotte's Web, that we talked about. But Hemp Fusion has something called panoramic hemp extract, which I guess is more than a full spectrum hemp extract. So I want to learn more about this from them. So we're going to reach out to Hemp Fusion and find out what that's about. But I am also going to be taking a taste of this one on air tonight. I wanted to really see what this one tasted like. They've got a beautiful frosted bottle as it is. I think I'm going to have way too much of this CBD oil tonight, but let's try. Very light herbal flavor. I actually like that better. A lot of these guys, they mask the flavors. And I don't know about you, Bart. I am not a super taster. I am not a person who's super sensitive to taste. So I like the herbal flavor of hemp and cannabis, and this stuff tastes pretty darn good.
Let me throw some statistics out. Is the use of Xanax and alprazolam is extensive in the United States. Almost 20 million people have prescriptions for alprazolam, and alprazolam is sort of a drug that can make you sleepy. It can make you relaxed. I think they always referred to it as the drug of like the housewives that just want to gel out and they're stressed and they hate their lives. It was this really funny movie, Nicole Kidman, that they talked about that. And so with 20 million alprazolam prescriptions and Xanax plus another couple of 120 million, what we're talking about is how do you hack away from pharmaceuticals? Because the long-term detriment of alprazolam as well as Xanax are pretty well documented. You can have long-term memory. You can increase the chances of Alzheimer's. There's a number of things that can happen when we're using these prescription medications for simply things like going to sleep. Simple things like managing your emotions, like anxiety. And so alprazolam is one of the top anxiety medications. And so what we're looking here is saying, is this a substitute so that you can be a little bit more natural and you could perform better? And I don't know anyone more qualified than you, Shaahin, to talk about the nutrients and supplements. And you've written 5 or 6 books on different supplements. You're way more of an expert, and you're not just a dancing monkey when it comes to supplements, for sure. You've done your homework on that. So talk a little about the benefits, because I'm not one that has all these pills like all my girlfriends do, and I don't know what they do. But when I have an injury, I tend to go to a particular cream, right? But I use something like that. Or when I'm stressed out or I go to sleep or I can't fall asleep, what should I go for? Is there anything they sent you that you were like, oh, this is a replacement for a sleep medicine?
Damn. First and foremost, how many girlfriends are we talking about, Bart?
All of them had nutritional supplements. I mean, telling you, I attract a holistic human beings that they like my holistic brain, my out of the box thinking, my California suave.
We love your holistic brain, Bart. So yeah, so for sleep, there was actually this company that I don't know why I didn't want to love it, but this is my sleep product of choice. Now these come in these super yummy gummies. Now mind you guys, CBD doesn't really get you high, although I have had a couple experiences. I don't know why, but I definitely felt it. It wasn't like a THC high, but I definitely felt altered for a few hours taking just CBD. Maybe I took too much of it. But these come in these delicious little gummies. They're like sugar coated, although this one I think it's 1 gram of sugar. So I think it's like cane sugar and like sucrose. Okay, so it's like a fruit sugar kind of thing. Some of them have some of the different ones have monk fruit or different ingredients, but this one has a very low amount of sugar. The gummy tastes delicious. It's kind of unique because you're like, oh, delicious. You take a gummy and you're like, oh, delicious. And then all of a sudden it surprises you like you just ate a hemp plant. Like, ooh. But
And it's for pain or it's for sleep?
this one's for sleep.
What's the name? What's the brand?
It's called Receptra, and it's 25 milligrams, I believe. But this is specifically CBN. So I believe CBN is one of the ones that's more impactful on sleep. That company sent us a bunch of really cool stuff. One of the things I really enjoyed about this company is so they have this 3-pack, and one is for rest, one is for relaxing, and the other is for relief. So there's a good amount of product here for whatever you need. And I wonder if they're like different strains or if it's just different combinations. I believe these guys all include possibly different ingredients that work synergistically with the cannabinoids. So this company isn't trying to say hemp. They say hemp CBD tincture. So these guys are very transparent with what's in there. Another cool company that I really appreciate their packaging is this company Moon Mother, and I believe this came from a company called. Oh, maybe these are different. There's a company called. Oh, sorry. So there's maybe 2 different ones. So one is this one called Moon Mother that comes in a more, I guess it's like a feminine style hemp product here.
You mean the packaging is feminine or more appealing to ladies?
It's called Dream, but in the packaging world, anytime you do anything in pink, it is geared specifically towards females. So I wonder if this one in particular is designed for possibly for women and PMS. I know that my wife loves to use certain brands of CBD for her time of the month and for cramps, menstrual cramps, and those kinds of things. I know they're very useful. This one is called Moon Mother CBD Balm, and I haven't used this before, but again, another topical, beautiful packaging and marketing that these guys have. And should be another one that we'll review soon on here. So these are topicals. It smells wonderful. It smells like, I don't know, it smells like patchouli and myrrh and all kinds of good things. So I definitely would be interested in trying these. I know that these are all sustainable, organic CBD products, which I'm very excited about. And I think that I think that kind of covers.
Yeah, let
I
me
think
just
that
ask you a
covers.
marketing
Yeah.
question. You mentioned packaging, and a lot of people know that you run an Amazon coaching program. You help people. Is great packaging only required for the top of the market, like the Neiman Marcus type brands, or do you need to spend that extra because Kiehl's, for example, has very poor packaging, in my opinion, because they go back to the 1920s, and that's sort of the brand is, there's this brand that's been 100 years, but it's not necessarily sexy for a new brand. When you coach people on a new brand or a product or a soap or an oil or even the CBD, like the reason I like the packaging is I'm kind of a newbie. It says relax, recover, whatever, like sleep. It made it real simple for me to know, to navigate that box. How important is packaging when you're launching your Amazon products?
When you're launching Amazon products, packaging is super important. And I think that's something we all have to remember. I think that when you are not doing that, when you're trying to sell anywhere else, is where the issue comes into play. And I'll explain why that is. The reason why it works that way is because if you have your own platform and you're selling on Shopify or you're selling in your own brick and mortar store, you could have a brown label with just 3 letters, CBD, and sell it in there because you have the ability to share that story in other ways. When you're selling on the Amazon platform, it's a different story. Now, this comes with a big caveat, and we talked about this on our big CBD show that's up and coming. And we've got lots of samples of different types of CBD, both topical, ingestible. Another product that came into us are these delicious wild gummies from Wild Theory, CBD gummies, organic, which I love. Is that CBD is not allowed on Amazon, Bart. It is prohibited on the Amazon platform. Amazon does not allow for CBD products. So let's take a look really briefly at how CBD ends up on the Amazon platform and how sellers are selling CBD products on the Amazon platform. So I am going to now share my screen here. Let's see if this works using this platform. It's kind of like
we really love doing product reviews. And so if you're watching and you want us to review your product or your Amazon store, we love doing that kind of stuff. We've got a lot of decades of marketing mind behind us.
Yeah, and one of the concepts that Bart had, which I think are really awesome, is that we're going to actually take a look at the business model of a lot of these different hemp companies. This Moon Mother company, again, they've got this is cool. They've got a massage oil, but then they also have, Bart, are you ready? This might be perfect for you and your girlfriends. The intimacy oil, CBD intimacy oil.
To be fair, it's just one now, but they all seem to have oil just in all their cabinets. Let's not glamorize my lifestyle.
All right, but we can at least get you the intimacy oil, and then you can report back on the intimacy.
I will report back post haste on the intimacy oil.
Okay. Now, guys, watch this. So can you see my screen, Bart?
It's very tiny, so if you'd read it, it would be a little bit easier for us.
All right. So I am putting the word CBD in Amazon. And now notice, the first things that pop up are some books. But this is interesting. This is actual gummies. And it's got 15 million milligrams of hemp gummies. How interesting. And then we'll look at hemp treats for dogs. Look at this. Hemp oil. Now, if you guys don't know, you can buy hemp oil from Whole Foods for you get like a quart of the stuff for $10, $15, something like that. Hemp oil is very cheap. Hemp oil is very low in any of the stuff that you need. Why would somebody pay $32 or $21 for a pack of gummies, $15 for a pack of gummies? Here you go, $25 for a pack of gummies on Amazon. This is a secret code that is going on Amazon. Using the term hemp gets you out of their terms of service restrictions, which is what people are doing. Now, here's the big secret to this. Are you guys ready? If you sell a CBD product on Amazon, you cannot have the word CBD anywhere on the packaging. You cannot have anything cannabis related on the packaging. Not only that, allegedly, certain companies, we are not going to implicate Amazon in such dubious behavior, but have web crawlers that will search the internet looking at sellers' actual websites, looking for the keywords CBD and CBG and CBN. And if they find those keywords, even though you don't have it on your Amazon listing, they can take your listing down. If somebody mentions it in a review, the listing can be taken down. If somebody mentions it in your copy, if anywhere you go has that, they can take it down. Now, an obvious thing is look at how many milligrams they're offering. Who looks for milligrams of hemp oil? Nobody looks for milligrams. What is this milligrams of that they're offering here? And what kind of hemp oil is good for anxiety and stress relief? The other thing that you will notice is a lot of the top ranking ones for CBD oil have fairly low reviews. 189. Some of them will have high reviews, but there's a reason for that, and we go over that later. But the majority of these have very low reviews. It's unusual on the top of the Amazon page to see so many products with such low reviews.
Let me take a guess why that is, because I'm not an expert like you are. Is because they're newer products, the other ones got banned, and they just showed up in the last 2 months. Am I right?
That's right. So there's lots of different tactics. Good work, Bart. Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
lots of different tactics. Look at this. When we put in the keyword CBD, the first thing that happens is the drop down. For you guys who don't know, this drop down can be manipulated just by sheer volume of search. So these search terms that are in here populate for what people put in here. So whoever CBD this company is, or this company, this is just oil, which is what most people look for. But the rest of this stuff could potentially, allegedly, be manipulated. I'm not going to say anything about that. But what we see here in the CBD area, when we punch in CBD, and we might see some different results. Let me do this. Let me start a new window here. And hopefully this will share a new window. Oh, is there a way to get out? Oh, yeah. Let me close incognito. There we are. Okay. So now I've closed incognito, and we're going to take a look at CBD. So this gets very interesting. All right. So let's look at a product like this. And this is going to be something that's going to illuminate a lot for you, Bart. Let's take a look. We use the software called Helium 10. If anybody's interested in Helium 10, hit me up. I think I can get you guys a 50% discount on that. So we'll include the link in the show notes if anybody's interested in Helium 10. It's a little spy software that you can use to find out competitor information on here. But what should pop up right now are the sales of these different products on the Amazon platform. So what I'm trying to do is it should give me an overlay. Hopefully this will work. It is not because of the Helium software, but perhaps because of my internet connection. There we go. So this will now show me the sales of these products. And this is what I wanted to show you. The sales of these products are over hundreds of $1,000s a month per product. Some of these CBD products in the past have done millions of dollars a month on Amazon. So here we go. The product data is now loading. And let's take a look. So what we look here is the revenue for the last 30 days. And if we organize this by revenue, get the books out of the way. All right. So we will look at this hemp gummies are doing $101,000 a month for calm and sleep, which shows you sleep is very important, something our friend Michael Bruce will talk about. The hemp gummies that we saw earlier are doing about $33,000 a month, and there's a natural hemp cream for $29,000 a month. Now, and this is per month that these products are making. Very risky, by the way. I don't recommend anybody sell CBD or CBD related products on Amazon, because you do risk a competitor just calling you out. And if a competitor calls you out on your CBD product on Amazon, Amazon could take down your listing. Here's another one. Beautiful packaging, looks old style, full profile organic hemp extract, right? They mean full spectrum, but there's a reason why they put full profile. I suspect it's allegedly to avoid Amazon's search for that keyword. Yeah, Amazon spiders might be looking now for the word full spectrum, and it's something that might get the product banned. Now we're looking at products with a few more reviews. We're looking at just the pure hemp oil. Again, look at the advertising for the milligrams. Nobody cares about milligrams of hemp oil. People are interested in CBD. And if you notice, there's a lot of guides on CBD. So allegedly, if I were a company that was doing CBD, I might want to write a quick guide to CBD oil and have that pop up with my product. What does this look like? If on the same page they're selling this CBD oil and right under it is CBD oil for premature ejaculation. I've never heard of that before. And I don't know why CBD would help for that, but it is strange. So now we've got the sales data showing up on this. And I just wanted to show you guys that there are a lot of CBD products on there, but they are marketed as hemp oil. And this is something that, Bart, I can't get my head around why Amazon is not allowing these companies to fully and legally sell their hemp oil on their CBD oil. And they have to play this cat and mouse game and sell it as hemp oil. I know
Maybe it's because in all 50 states, there's different local laws relating to hemp and hemp plants. And it may be easier litigation wise to just avoid the whole niche. But at some point, I think you mentioned, and you'll hear this on the full broadcast that we did, is at some point it becomes so profitable they can't avoid it because they love to make money, which they're very good at. And so if it is legal in 48, 50 states and it's just hemp and it's not, THC, we may see them enter the marketplace or allow the sellers to enter.
Yeah. So look, this is actual hemp oil. This is the stuff you put on your salad. Delicious, by the way. You ever try hemp oil on your salad, Bart?
I have never done it. You recommend it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's a very nice taste. It doesn't taste like cannabis at all. It tastes like hemp. It's like a very rich oil. It's super rich in nutrients. It's kind of fatty. I like it. And so here's 24 ounces for $16 by this company here. So that's actual hemp oil. But then you look at the hemp gummies are actually selling more than the hemp oil, $101,000 a month. Here's another hemp oil product, $60,000 a month. Another hemp oil product, $30,000, $40,000, $40,000, $35,000, and down the line. The topicals making a ton of money. So these aren't the huge numbers that we've seen in some products, but it's only because these get taken down all the time. It's a very risky business, but there is a way to do it if you don't mind calling it hemp. Oftentimes, manufacturers will create a second line of products. So maybe you're called Acme Hemp Gummies, and that's your main company that you sell CBD on your website. You create a separate brand, a sub brand, and a website, and you sell under that. And you can do it. There's other websites where you can sell it. I think Shopify allows selling of CBD, if I'm not mistaken now. Maybe I'm mistaken. I know they've gone back and forth about if they're going to do that. But you can sell it on your own website. You can sell it through a lot of the other sites. General. And by the way, guys, I am not an attorney. Bart is not an attorney. Please don't take medical health advice or legal advice from us. We know not what we speak of. We will have other experts on that you can talk to, but please talk to your doctor before taking any new product. We do not encourage the use of anything. All we do is we can talk about the use of this stuff for ourselves. Another one that was pretty good was the Hemp Fusion Balm. It's a menthol balm. So again, I've got to use this for a couple more weeks, and then I'll let you guys know maybe next month if this stuff made an impact. I'm having a hard time figuring out if it's the menthol or the actual CBD, but I feel like it's got a little bit more of a difference. And this Wild Theory company that has the great packaging also has a pure CBG, which is interesting. And finally, the Focal company, which you tried, Bart. What did you think of the Focal CBD that you tried? I don't know what flavor you tried. I think you tried the orange cream or the mint.
Yeah, I actually tried it going to sleep, and I liked the flavor, and I didn't go to sleep as quickly as, say, other things that I've used. I didn't dislike it, so I guess I need to learn more about which one to use at which time, because I like the fact it was natural. I like the fact it tastes good. I like the fact it was portable and I could just drop it in my mouth and in my travel bag. But it didn't blow me away with going right to sleep. But maybe I took it wrong. So you'll have to give me some coaching on that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So that's CBD, you guys, and we'll be talking more about it. Let us know in the show notes. Like us, comment. Let us know what you would like to see. If there's anything you would like us to try, if there's a particular brand, if you are a producer, you know somebody who's a producer of CBD products or any product, in fact, that you would like us to review, we are open to it. We can't promise that we will review your product, but if you want to send it to the show, reach out to us on the website. You can go to Shaahin.com and reach out to us there, and we will contact you back. We'll include that in the show notes. And Bart, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty available on social media. So at Bart Baggett, one T and then two T's, Bart, Bart Baggett. And then my Facebook page is pretty popular. And then I've got a website called getbartsbook.com, and they can download both of my actual books for free. It's got a little audiobook with it. And I'd love you to buy it on Amazon, but I don't really need your money. But I do want you to have the information. I've spent, books that we talked about with our guest today, they're a profound sort of people's life's work. And so I love the fact that you download it and listen to it, and it makes a difference in your life. As far as reviews and the podcast, we love helping business owners succeed. This show is about hacking and getting wealthy and being happy. And Shaahin and I own real estate and we own businesses, and we don't always talk about all that stuff, but we want to help you. I mean, you're not part of my little coaching program or Shaahin. So if we can answer your question, or you have a website, or have a product, or you want some live coaching, we'll get you on the hot seat. And we may be brutal and it may hurt you a little bit, but I bet I could save you 3 years of struggle and pain if I got a hold of you with your business model and ask you some key questions. So we're open to that. So put it in the comments, hit us up on the social medias, and we'll have you on the show, or at least we'll review your product. We'd like to help.
Yeah. And Bart, I had an idea for you. What do you think about getting Best Book Bets, our friend Michael Knight, to review and summarize your Secrets of the Rich and Happy?
Well, I'd like it. I think it leads to sales. Anytime someone's talking about you as an author, doesn't matter where it is. I mean, in the 1990s, I did over 1,500 radio and TV shows, maybe the 90s and 2000s. And at that point, like, that was the medium. There was no social media. So people heard of me, then they went to the bookstore, then they went online. And so if you never have that introduction, I think it gets a very crowded space. So I'm a big fan of the short book thing. I think it's great. I think he should include my book in the top 10 books of all time. I'm just saying, I'm American. I can self-promote, Shaahin. It's okay that I think I wrote a pretty darn good book, and maybe he will, but I don't think he will. It's hard to out-position Tony Robbins and Osho.
Yeah, it's funny talking about outperforming. I was just reading, so there's all these rumors, because we are Hack and Grow Rich on Amazon, about man Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend Lauren Sanchez getting engaged. Have you heard anything about this part?
After writing a check for $48 billion, I don't know if I'd want to get married that quick, but he's smarter than me. So maybe marriage is proper for him.
He gave away a lot of Amazon stock to her, allegedly. But if you look at it, it didn't affect his position at all. I think that was like a fart for him. It meant very little things. Now, Lauren Sanchez, fascinating thing. Can you imagine how hard she has to work to keep a guy like Jeff Bezos? Like could you? There is no higher attempt of Bezos.
Maybe she just loves him, Shaahin. Why the pessimism?
Must be in a very. I'm sure she loves him. From all I've seen in the pictures and everything, I'm sure she loves him. But I can just level of game that she has to up to maintain the richest man on earth.
And one of the most ambitious.
Gotta be.
I mean, he doesn't want to go to the soccer game. He wants to go to Mars. That's what he wants to do this weekend. He didn't want to go to the soccer game, catch a movie. He wants to go to Mars. That is a high bar of entertainment for a woman to sustain. You're right.
In a massive penis, right? That's a rocket. Is that his, or is it Elon's that looks like a penis? I forget.
I'm pretty sure it's Bezos's. And you really can't look at that rocket ship without thinking it. It couldn't have been a mistake. Like, it's not even a joke you would say, because it's so obvious to anyone over 8 years old that that's a flying penis. Wonder what kind of man would make a flying. It's so weird, Shaahin. I can't imagine at that meeting with the scientist said, okay, here's our best design. And you're not going, is someone punking me? Really? I just spent $1.5 million for a design from you guys, and you just drew me a penis like an 8-year-old drew? No. I have to think that was bizarre. I think that was intentional, and it's pretty hilarious, actually. It's great fodder.
It looks like that. Yeah, it's true. I think I would encourage to a great degree a lot of these guys like Elon and Bezos that there's a huge problem happening now. And I would like to have these guys' brains on solving right now the biggest problem that we have as Amazon sellers, any kind, and that's getting product into the port. I don't know if you know, but container ships now are backed up 4+ months in the LA ports. Not only are container ships backed up, there's a huge holiday backlog. I know people that have ordered 4 or 5 months ago containers full of costumes for Halloween. Bart, those costumes are 2 months away.
Oh
Halloween
my
is
God,
not going to be
that's
having a lot
bankruptcy
of
for some of
costumes.
those people.
You walk into a lot of these brick and mortar stores, and those stores are empty shelves, and they're struggling to keep inventory. And I know that certain retailers and even some Amazon sellers that we know have chartered private ships to get their inventory to dock quicker, where they can skip the longshoremen and actually literally just have dudes load them off a private boat.
That's incredible. I can't even imagine it'd be profitable at that point, but you do have to keep your customers happy.
You got to keep your customers happy. Not only that, there's people trying to make stuff now in the US, which is kind of a good side effect. We've got friends and clients who've opened up factories here in the United States that are producing goods that haven't been produced here in the United States in 20 years, 30 years. But this may not, for a lot of products, slow down for the next year or two. Seems to be no end in sight for the next couple years. So I think a lot of people now for the holiday season that are doing their shopping, you can anticipate prices going up 2, 3, 4 times, because it's all going to be a function of supply and demand. If you've got to have that big jacuzzi bathtub or that far infrared sauna, any of these products that are made in China that are usually brought here in these big containers, you're going to be paying 2, 3 times as much. And it's great for business if you had forethought, you have 6 to 8 months worth of inventory, but most Amazon sellers do not have 6 to 8 months of inventory. My students do. The people who come to my Amazon Mastery course have learned to watch trends. We have special software. We teach people how to forecast what products to buy when on Amazon. But for the majority of Amazon sellers, they do not have that wherewithal or that forethought in order to do that. And sometimes, even if they do, imagine your product being delayed for 4 months or later. And actually, I was just recently reading about some of the people on the dock. Allegedly, they're all unionized. And these guys are taking, there was a big article that broke in one of the big newspapers saying that these guys are taking extra long lunches. Because they're union guys, they're earning $200,000 a year for unloading these containers, and they don't care. The guys that are driving the trucks that are picking up the containers get paid per load. So those guys care. And there's a battle now going between those guys because allegedly there's some incentivizing that may or may not be going on to get any select containers offloaded. So we enter into a cycle where it may need to be done. And I've heard recently some of the sellers in my team told me that Los Angeles port has now gone 24/7. I'm not sure if this is true. If anybody knows about this or has heard about this, let us know. But I think of LA 24/7, which means guys unloading those things, the union guys that were getting 200, 250 grand a year for unloading those containers allegedly, now must be getting double that because it's overtime at night, right? When you work for
Unless
the
you can get
union.
triple shifts, it's going to be expensive. But I think it goes back to the supply chain problem, and that goes back to just basic economics. And so when you're picking products, or especially if you're new in business, you really can't afford an 8-month delay. I've had people lose ships and lose entire containers, or the entire batch was bad, and if that's all you have, you're out. So I think it goes back to basically good business. You just don't risk off, almost like gambling. Just make sure you have your hedges bet, your bets hedged a little bit. Make sure you have the timeline. And then, of course, if for all of us, getting one winning product, that's what we want. We want one winning product that goes on year after year and that's not a trend. So I think we're almost to the top of the hour, Shaahin. Let's see what's on the agenda for wrapping this up and going on to next week. I look forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to have some amazing special guests next week. If you guys have questions about CBD, CBD oil, by the way, guys, the reason why we're doing the show on CBD is because Bart and I have looked at this, and I'm not good at a lot of things. In fact, I really suck at most things, 99% of things. There are a few things that I'm very good at, and I'm very good at spotting trends. And CBD, I think we are at the ground floor. I think we don't know what's what. We're all upside down with the laws and the regulations. And can we sell it on Amazon? Do we have to call it this? Do we have to call it that? What can this stuff do? What can it do? Is it snake oil? Does it work? Is it real? These people here, it's helping. These people, it's not. But at the end of the day, I think this is going to be one of the hottest categories. And I predict that we are going to see research and reports coming out that's going to blow us away about the efficacy of CBD, CBN, CBG related products, because I truly believe they do work. I'm not sure exactly for what they will be proven to work for clinically. I think that remains to be seen, due in large part. But I think this is one of the hottest trends, and we're going to be examining the business models. We're going to be looking in depth at a lot of these companies as the show goes on, and we will try to have some pretty fun and exciting experts on to talk about that. So for any of you guys that are interested, I have a 1-hour Amazon course, crash course. It's normally $200. If you're a viewer of this show, just reach out to me and I will include that for you for free. Zero charge, zero obligation. Go to fbasellercourse.com or go to shaahin.com and click on the link for the Amazon course. You can also email me directly. I'm going to share my direct email with you, and I respond to all emails. I get to email zero every day thanks to David Allen's Getting Things Done. My email is darkzess@gmail.com. That's DARKZESS@gmail.com. Just email me for the free course and we will get you on the free program. I wanted to also mention that my book, Billion, How I Became King of the Thrill Pill Cult, all about the herbal ecstasy revolution, is out now. You can get the audiobook on Audible. That just recently dropped, but we've got the Audible book on Audible, the audiobook on Audible, the hardcover, softcover, Kindle, ebook is all available on Amazon. So please check us out there. And if you like the podcast, you like what we said, if you hated us, if you like Bart's face, don't like my face, make sure to dislike us and comment why you don't like us. If you disagree with anything that we said, we're always open to conversations. Maybe we'll have you on the show. Reach out to us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to also reach out to Bart and get his book. We will include links on the show below. Bart, thanks so much for being on tonight, bud.
It's always fun. The Hack and Grow Rich podcast is my favorite part of my week. And for those of you that aren't subscribed, subscribe and share and send us some questions. We're here to help you grow a business, be happier, and be wealthier. So this is the place. We'll see you next week, guys.